Hello there, everyone. Welcome to episode 65 of the Play to Win podcast. My name is Keiran, and I'm, of course, joined by my awesome, fantastic co-host, Tyler. How is it going?
It is going pretty well. It's going pretty well, actually. Pretty short week. No, it wasn't a short week. It was a full week of work for me this week. But I guess it kind of felt like it was short. It kind of flew by, which I can't complain about. I really can't. You know, it's always good when work just flies by and all. So I'm doing pretty well. It's been hot. Today's going to be a kind of a hot day today. I'm not looking forward to that. So my apologies if I sound a bit weird. My fan is on. It's kind of close to me. Not super close, but it's kind of close to me, so it could blow on me. So I apologize if you kind of hear like wind blowing in the background. It's my fan. I need it in order to stay cool. And I have like one of my windows open with a screen in it. So like the outdoors might sound a bit louder. My neighborhood might be louder, like in terms of cars or trucks driving by. But hopefully it won't be that bad. I just need these things in order to stay relatively cool in this room. That way I don't like die from like heat, like from heat and have like a heat stroke or anything like that. Summertime in my house, man. Summertime in my house. No AC. It's pleasant, right? It sounds so pleasant.
Yeah, I've actually been getting a little toasty in this room because my new PC's built. Finally,
yes,
everything arrived.
You never answered my question. Like you said, you came in and I said, cool, that's nice, but doesn't run Crysis. You never answered the question. So I'm going to assume by not answering the question, that was your way of avoiding like, oh man, it doesn't run Crysis. I can't tell him that.
I mean, it could probably run. I don't have Crysis installed, but I mean, it could probably run Crysis.
I would hope it can, considering, you know, Crysis is how old at this point and your PC is how new?
Very.
Yeah, I would like to imagine it could run a Crysis.
Probably. But you might find out on a future episode of the podcast. I just did play Crysis Remastered, so I don't know if I'll be jumping back into Crysis anytime soon. But
right. Hey ho, is what it is.
Yeah. But this is the Play to Win podcast, a show where we break down the week's biggest gaming news through in-depth discussion. Just as a reminder to subscribe on YouTube and take the notification bell so you know when new podcast episodes go live every Monday at 6 p.m. UK, 1 p.m. Eastern. So get subscribed for that. Also, same time on podcast services, subscribe over there too.
It goes live everywhere all at once.
Yep. But the topics for this episode are going to be Sucker Punch not revisiting classic franchises for the foreseeable future, Troubles over at Niantic, developers of Pokemon Go, the Nintendo Direct Mini, we're going to recap some highlights from that, and more. Speaking of more, our first story is going to be something that very much angered me this week, that God of War fans have been doing some pretty disgusting things towards the developers of Ragnarok.
Yeah, let's put fans in quotes here just to be like real specific. Let's put people, quote unquote fans, because like it's absolutely terrible. They're terrible people for doing what they're doing.
Yep. So some fans of God of War Ragnarok have been sending unsolicited explicit images to employees at Santa Monica in exchange for the release date. I'm sure many of you can guess what we mean by unsolicited explicit images, but you can go and look up an article if you want more detail on that part. I first saw this from Estelle Tigani on Twitter, who is a cinematics producer for Sony Santa Monica. She tweeted, as I open up just now, she tweeted, pro tip, sending me something pics asking for God of War Ragnarok release date will not, in fact, get me to reveal the release date. To the people who are doing so, when did that ever work for you? Fair question. Shouldn't be happening in the first place, because that is absolutely disgusting.
It really is, and it speaks towards like a larger issue in the gaming community of just like of a lack of maturity, a lack of respect, a lack of basic human decency for other people. And it's absolutely disgusting. And like that is like the cherry on top of just people just like just constantly bombarding devs and Cory Barlog over there, who just recently came back to Twitter after a long absence, just constantly bombarding all their tweets with, where's the date? Where's the date? I want the date. Yeah. Show us the game. Where's the game? And all this stuff. It's just like, it's gotten so out of hand. And like, this was the absolute cherry on top of it, where it's just like, no, you guys are completely out of line at this point.
Yeah, 100%. Like there is like in any situation, there is no reason to be doing that, but especially when it comes to a video game release date, like maybe go touch some grass.
Right.
Corey Balrog tweeted in response to this saying, quote, are you effing kidding me with this now? I cannot believe I even have to say this, but don't effing send dick pics to. Oh, well, I just said it. So
You just did. So yeah, that's
yep,
what happened. That was the
yep,
thing.
that
Don't
was
send
the thing.
explicit pictures, guys.
Yep, but don't effing send dick pics to anyone on this team or anyone in the industry for that matter. They're busting their ass to make sure to make something for you to enjoy. Show some effing respect.
Yeah,
Couldn't have put it better myself.
Yeah, and then like over on Twitter, like I think like a few days later or was that same day, I don't remember when it was that Corey posted that tweet, but like the Sony Santa Monica page, they themselves posted a tweet, which basically it was a statement basically saying, yeah, we're working on a game that we're real proud of, we're happy for you all to get it, but like respect everyone, please, like respect the developers, please, and like Phil Spencer like chimed in. He was like, yeah, good message, Corey. Neil Druckmann also like retweeted their tweet, basically like in a show of support for them. Then he tweeted about angry gamers for another game. We'll talk about that later. But like his message for that like also applies to this too. It's just like toxic gamers, toxic quote unquote fans, whatever you want to call them. Like it's their behavior has gotten so disgusting and terrible. And it's completely out of hands, completely out of line. It's just not called for in any way, shape, or form.
No, it isn't. I mean, like I just said a couple of minutes ago, like in any situation that's uncalled for, but especially for a video game release date, that's just absolutely abhorrent.
Yeah, there are more important things in the world than video games, people.
Yep.
Like it's as this will be the last thing I say on this, and then you can say whatever you want, like to wrap up the discussion. But like, it's crazy because the day that this happened with the pictures and everything, the day that happened, literally hours before that, I had tweeted out that like honestly, like I'm super excited for Ragnarok. God of War 2018 is my favorite game of all time. Love it. I'm super excited for Ragnarok. I am over talking about this game though. At this point, I'm over the constant speculation. I'm over the constant rumors. I'm over the when will we see that? Will it come out this year? Is it coming out this year? What's happening? I don't care. I genuinely like it's a talking point that has been talked to death so much that like it's annoying. It's absolutely annoying to have this be still like something that people are constantly asking. And I understand people are eager for the game. They want to know. I understand that it's an easy way to get like traction or engagement, talking about the game. I understand that. But like, honestly, I'm over it because it's like every single week, someone's like, I wonder when we're going to see the game. Where is it? What's happening? And it's like, guys, like, and I don't mean like strictly just community. I mean like, influencers, media, whatever, who have you, what have you. It's annoying. I'm over it. We'll see it when we see it. We'll play the game when we play it. When it releases, we'll play it. And it is what it is. Like, there are so many other games to play that like, this is like the least of my concerns. And there's so many other more important things happening in the world that I'm not concerned about. When are we going to see God of War Ragnarok? Are we going to see it next week? Are we going to see it this week? What's happening with it? Is it going to be in 2022? Is it going to be 2023? If it's next year, okay. Oh, well, like, yeah, it's a loss for Sony first party to not have it this year. But like, if it's next year, it's next year. And I play it next year. It is what it is. Like, I genuinely, I get like the rabid desire and fascination for info on the game. But like, knowing when it comes out doesn't do anything for you. Aside from, I still have to wait for this day to play it. It doesn't make the game come out any sooner. Seeing it doesn't make the game come any sooner. Like, it is what it is. We will play it when we play it. We will see it when we see it. Be patient. Do other things with your time. Like, I am genuinely over talking about this game unless there's anything new to talk about with it.
Yeah, and like I definitely agree with you that like I'm super excited for the game as well. God of War 2018 is one of my favorite games of all time. But like, it's not like them saying, oh, it's releasing on October 18th is going to impact my experience of the game in any way. All it's going to do is honestly make me more more impatient, I guess, because I'm going to be like, oh, come on, October 18th. So like, yes, I want to know when it comes out, but I'm not in any rush for that information.
Yeah. Yeah, like I was the same way with Kingdom Hearts 3. That's like a game. Kingdom Hearts, my favorite franchise of all time. Kingdom Hearts 3 was a game that I was eagerly awaiting since 2006. I was like, all right, Kingdom Hearts 3, when's it going to happen? And then, like played all the other games. Cool. Gets announced in 2013. Awesome. Yeah, fantastic. And it's like, I super wanted the game. I want to know more about it. But at the same time, it's like, I will play it when I play it. I hope it comes out and I hope I'm alive to play it, but I will play it when I play it. I'll see stuff for it when I see stuff for it. It is what it is. Take your time making that game. Like, if I can do that for a game that I waited basically half my life for, I can wait however long I need you to see God of War Ragnarok. Like, it is what it is.
Yeah, I don't know why, but when you said that, I had a picture of like old age me being like, I remember when they announced Hollow Knight Silk Song. Maybe one day they'll release it.
That's your Kingdom Hearts 3 for me.
Yeah, yep. Just a couple of things on this. The release date was rumored to be revealed on June 30th, but was reportedly pushed back, potentially due to the Roe v. Wade situation in the US.
Yeah.
Cory Balrog has since updated fans on Twitter as to when they will share more information about the game, essentially saying they will release information when they have or when they are able to.
Yeah, he's like, I wish I could tell you all as soon as I know, but it's not my call. You'll know when I'm able to tell you. Just wait on it.
Yep. One thing that I did want to like bring attention to, just because it's wholesome and like it, shows that people or professionals in the video game industry don't hate each other. In response to Cory Balrog's tweet about essentially releasing information when they can, Phil Spencer replied and was like, and said, quote, so well said, Cory. Can't wait to enjoy God of War when it comes out. And thanks to you and the team for the amazing work that goes into creating things we love. Thank you. End quote. Just thought that was super wholesome.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
That's nice. We'll play it when we play it. We'll see it when we see it. In the meantime, let's play other games and do other things, guys.
Yep.
That's what it is.
Speaking of things you won't be doing, like finding out the God of War Ragnarok release date this week, Sucker Punch will not be going back to Infamous or Sly Cooper anytime soon. In a blog post celebrating, were you going to say something?
I was going to say, yep, and it's a bit sad, depending on who you ask.
Yeah. In a blog post celebrating the studio's 25th anniversary, the studio confirmed that both series will continue to remain dormant for this foreseeable future. This was alongside a quote that says, quote, as our games continue to grow in scale and complexity, they require the full attention of our studio. With our focus on our current project, we have no plans to revisit Infamous or Sly Cooper right now, and no other studio is currently working on projects related to those franchises either. These characters are very special and near and dear to our hearts, so while we never say never to reopening those doors down the road, for now there are no Infamous or Sly Cooper games in development, end quote. Which begs the question, do we think that either franchise should come back?
I could go either way on it, in all honesty. I think that for current day PlayStation, that like you can make a case for Infamous and Sly Cooper, but you could also make a case against both of them as well. I think the case you can make for them is that Infamous was before the Spider-Man exclusivity. That was Sony's superhero game, and it was also it was an original IP superhero type thing, like their own superhero story that they had created their own superhero universe and stuff, and it was really fun and really cool. Sure, Second Son might not have lived up to like Infamous 2, but it was still pretty cool and all like that. So it'd be nice to have another like superhero game that isn't tied to some other license or some other IP, their own one, especially on the PS5. Like I would love to see what they could do. With Sly Cooper, the case you could make for that is that there isn't really much of I guess you could say like kid friendly or all around IP that Sony has right now. Like aside from Astrobot, you have Astrobot, which is cool and all like that, but most people probably didn't play Rescue Mission, and so their only exposure to will be Playroom. I mean, Astro's Playroom, which is fun, but I really wonder like how many people would have played that. And that also doesn't have the name recognition as Sly Cooper. There's also Ratchet and Clank, but like it's just Ratchet and Clank is the only last standing mascot character from the PS2 era. Jak and Daxter is long gone. Sly Cooper had a game on the PS3 and the remasters, but we haven't had anything back since then, you know? So it'd be nice to have someone from another mascot from that era come back. And again, it'd be a nice family-friendly one that, you know, all audiences, all ages could play. It would appeal to everybody. So it'd be nice to have another one of those franchises, you know, amongst all of Sony's more serious adult type stories that they tell with their games. The cases against them, though, is the fact that for Infamous, you already have a superhero franchise with Spider-Man, which is like the biggest superhero in the world, arguably. So like having a second one with Infamous, it might be like you might risk oversaturating the superhero genre on your one platform. And also you then have like Infamous kind of competing in a sense with Spider-Man in terms of they're both two superhero games. So I can see Sony might be like a bit hesitant to do that. The case against Sly Cooper is that there are other games that are selling so well. Why would we go back to the well of Sly Cooper when we did it on the PS3? And I don't remember how well Thieves in Time sold or did. So it's like, we tried bringing it back once. If it didn't do that well then, why are we going to try it again 2 generations later?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I will start off by saying I have no opinion on Sly Cooper because I've never played them.
That is a crime against humanity. You should be ashamed of yourself.
Never played a Sly Cooper game. Only Infamous game I have played is Second Son, and only Infamous games is Second Son and First Light. So, and I really enjoyed those games. I would like another Infamous game, but it's not something that I am like desperate for. It's not something that needs to come back. If they make one, that's awesome. I'll definitely play it, but it's not something that I think is 100% necessary for their current lineup. Like, I mean, you summed that up very well. Like, they already have Spider-Man and they already have a bunch of third person, I never want to say action adventure games because that's not really what Infamous is, but they have
a
bunch. Is it?
It's third person action adventure. It's not the over the shoulder third person, but it's third person action adventure game.
Sure. What was I saying?
You were saying that it's not like I guess you were trying to say like it's not like one of their, it doesn't fit like their stereotypical like game that they would make.
Yeah, so like, I was gonna say that like they already have a bunch of like maybe not photorealistic, but like they already have a bunch of like super serious games they in their current lineup, so they don't necessarily need another one. So Infamous, like I say, would like another game, not desperate for one.
Yeah, but there's also the fact that like Sucker Punch hit it big with Ghost of Tsushima.
Yep.
Why would they go back to one of these other franchises right now? Like they're obviously working on a sequel. Like obviously that's happening. Yeah. So it wouldn't make sense for them to go back to it. Which I mean, then begs the question. I mean, the rumor was that Pixelopus was making a Sly Cooper game, which was like, all right, cool. Like obviously we would have expected Sucker Punch to do it. Someone else do it. Cool.
Yeah.
But apparently this is them saying, yeah, no one's working on any game in those series. And I doubt Sucker Punch would lie only for Sony to reveal like in September, hey guys, Sucker Punch, hey guys, the Sly Cooper game coming in January. Just like, what? By Pixelopus. Like, oh, whoa, okay. So like it does beg the question, if it's not going to be so like if these franchises were to come back, right?
Yeah.
Who would we want to work on them?
That's a good question. I would have to refresh myself on Sony's first party studios. Hang on.
All right. Let's run down the list. Naughty Dog, Guerrilla.
No.
I'm just running down the list right now.
Okay.
But if you want to say it as I go, let's do that. Naughty Dog.
Sure.
No.
No.
If Naughty Dog was gonna do an older IP from back in the day, I would say Jak and Daxter. Bring that back, Naughty Dog. But they're clearly past that. They're not gonna like they've said they still have love for Jak and Daxter, but I don't think they're gonna be doing it anytime soon. So like I don't think they would.
No.
And I really wouldn't want them to either.
No, yeah, and I just don't think it fits with like what their current goals are.
Yeah. So not them. Guerrilla. They're not.
No.
They're going to be digging deep into the Horizon universe. Like a Horizon 3 is going to happen. You played Forbidden West, you know a third one's going to happen. They're too busy doing that, and also like the VR Horizon stuff. Then there is we said Insomniac, but they're Spider-Man, Wolverine, Ratchet and Clank again, most likely. Not them. They're not doing it. Let's see. So there's Sony San Diego. They're doing baseball. No, not them. There is Polyphony. They're doing Gran Turismo. No, not them. We have Haven, but they're already working on their game. So no, not them. Deviation they're partnered with. I'll count them and I'll count Deviation and Firewalk, the two partners, but they're working on their own things. So not them either. There's Bluepoint working on an original IP. Well, no, they said an original game. So there is potential with Bluepoint. Maybe we could have. I'm not saying that Bluepoint is working on this, but I could see a Bluepoint making like an Infamous or a Sly Cooper.
I could see them making Infamous more than I see them making Sly Cooper, but they could do both.
Why do you see Infamous more than Sly Cooper?
I think it more aligns with what they have made in the past.
Okay.
But hang on, just so I'm 100%, because I'm probably getting this wrong. They did the Shadow of the Colossus.
They did Shadow Colossus remake. They did the Demon Souls remake. I believe they also did the PS3 remaster for Shadow of the Colossus, and they also did Gravity Rush remastered as well.
Oh, okay.
And I think they've done some other things too. So like, I think they could do Sly Cooper. Like,
and I mean, also, sorry, I just want to chime in. Like, not to say that like they have to stick to what they've done before, but if they were going to do one before saying Gravity Rush, I would have thought that it would have been Infamous.
Yeah. So I think if we're looking at the studios and talent, I could see Bluepoint potentially making a new entry in either of these. There is, let's see, Media Molecule. I could see Media Molecule probably doing a good Sly Cooper game.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I had to look up who Media Molecule was, but yeah.
Yeah, Little Big Planet, Dreams. Yep. I could see them pumping out a good Sly Cooper game. They have like the fun. They have the the idea there with the platforming. They're good with the platforming and everything. I think it could work. I think that could be a match right there.
Yeah, I would agree. I would actually be very interested to play that.
I would too. See, now I kind of want that.
Yeah, like going off of all the experience they've had making all the Little Big Planet games, I think that a Sly Cooper remaster or game or whatever it might be, I think that would fit really well.
Right. And like Little Big Planet is more just regular platforming, whereas Sly Cooper is like action platforming and stuff like that. But I still think that they could like adapt it or work it into their wheelhouse and stuff and make a good game. Yep. Who am I missing? I feel like I'm missing. There's a London studio, but I think they've been doing like VR stuff, so not them.
Team Asobi.
Team Asobi. They're most likely going to be doing more Astrobot stuff. Yep. So, but that's not to say that I don't think they could do a Sly Cooper. I think they'd be able to crank out a really good Sly Cooper. I think they could.
Yeah. What I would be I don't think they would do it, but I would be very interested to see an Infamous game from Housemarque.
Ooh, that'd be interesting.
I think that would work really well, actually.
I don't know though, because I think Housemarque, they like to try to keep like Returnal was their first big budget AAA game, right? Yep. And like their first move away from like arcade shooters or whatever, but it still had that arcade, fast-paced, nonstop arcade difficulty, like gameplay at its core, at its roots. And I think that they like to have like their original identity, have that in their games. And I don't see how you implement that into Infamous without drastically changing what Infamous is. Like, I think that'd be a bit too much of a clash in terms of ideas and like respecting, like keeping true to what they are, but also keeping true to what Infamous is at the same time. Like, I don't see how that would work.
Okay. I'm gonna pitch an idea to you. It's not it's not a Sony first party studio, but it is someone I think could they could partner with for a Sly Cooper project.
Who is that?
Ember Lab.
Yes, I could see it. I could definitely see it. And it's crazy because I was thinking of studios. I had thought about Ember Lab, but I was like, they're not first party, and they're not like a partnership or anything. They just like help them publish their game and all.
Yeah.
But Ember Lab, I think they could, and it would be a great game. It would be a fun game. Yeah. I think they would do a great job with the Sly Cooper game.
I mean, again, having not played Sly Cooper, I think hang on, I need to look up what Sly Cooper looks like because I don't know if I have seen the game before.
Devious Raccoonus. That's the name of the book from the first game.
I have like seen images of this game before. I have never seen gameplay or played it, but I have seen pictures of this game before.
It's a fun game. It was all three, the first three, really fun games, really great games. I just never played the fourth one. I think the reason why was because of money, because I had a PS3 at the time. I just think it was money. I just wasn't able to get it. So yeah, Ember Lab would be a good call. They're a good call for a Sly Cooper game. I'm trying to think of other studios that we got over there. Sony Santa Monica, they're doing God of War, and they're like a rumor that Cory Barlog's working on a new IP. So no, that's not happening. I would have seen them doing an Infamous or a Sly Cooper. No. Here's the thing. It's not that when I say that, it's not that I don't see them do like any of these studios doing like Infamous or what have you. It's not that I don't think that they could make a good game for it. Like I'm sure Sony Santa Monica or Naughty Dog or Insomniac could like pump out a great Infamous game or a Sly Cooper. I just don't see them wanting to work on those games because they already have these other projects that they would want to work on instead. You know, other projects that they're already like franchises that they are already invested in and continuing on, or just have bigger goals or bigger dreams than bringing back an IP from like a sister studio that's been gone for a generation. Well, Infamous was at the beginning of the PS4 generation, so it'll be close to a generation soon. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I mean, you could kind of like, to get away from PlayStation for a second, like you could kind of apply the same logic to something like Double Fine and Banjo-Kazooie. I'm sure they would make a great Banjo-Kazooie game, but I think they've said that they want to work on other projects.
Yeah, exactly. But another question I have here for this is if either franchise was to come back, right? Like, ignore who's working on them. What would we want? Like, what would we want to see from them? Like, in terms of story or gameplay or what have you. Like, first off, should these be remasters? Like, should they come back as a remaster first? Or whatever, if they were to come back, should they be like continuations? So like Infamous 4 continues on the story from the last one. So Sly Cooper 5 continues on the story. Or at this point, should just be like complete reboots from ground up. New characters or same characters, but telling a new version of the story or what have you. Like, what do you think? What do you think we should be? Like, what do you think should be just the way these series come back, if they are to come back?
What was the most recent Sly Cooper game?
Thieves in Time. That was 2012, I think, or 2013.
2013. I think you could do any of the three, really. And I think the least, or the one that people would be least happy with, would be a remaster of like any of the, like that, more so Infamous, I think, would be, well, no, I want to change the answer because I'm specifically thinking about Second Son. So like, that one you could do a remaster of, but I don't really think that's necessary. Like, this game still holds up, I'm sure. So like,
well, I think that remasters for Infamous 1 and 2, and then the Sly Cooper games for PS4, just like modern day versions remasters. So like, if just like ported them to PS4 or PS5, that would be more than enough for many people, because those games right now are all trapped on PS3. Like the Sly Cooper remasters, if I'm right, are trapped on PS3. Infamous 1 and 2 are trapped on PS3. You can't play them on PS4. And I don't know if they're in like the PlayStation Plus, the collection for like the PS3 games you can stream. I don't think they're in there. So like, if only to get them on PS4 and PS5, remasters would suffice and be like enough for many people. I know I'd be down for that.
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely play remasters of all of them. I just don't know if, yes, it would be enough for a lot of people, but I don't know if it would be enough for everyone. I th-
Well,
I think people would still be like, that's good and all, but give me new content in these franchises.
for sure, for sure. That's what I was gonna say. I think it's been so long since we had an entry
Yeah.
in each series. Like Second Son was 2014, so it's been 8 years. Sly Cooper Thieves of Time was 2013, so it's been almost a decade. Like at this point, I think remasters would allow you to like bring people back into the series who like played them before and it's been a while, and also reintroduce them to people who never played them before. And then that allows you to either say, all right, we can either choose to continue the story or like do something new entirely, but it's clearly in this universe.
Yeah.
And
And
like it opens up that door way more.
yeah, and I think the only reason that you do a remaster and nothing else right now is to judge how well they would sell, or how well a new game is wanted. I think that's the only reason you only do remasters for now, because I can guarantee you, maybe not guarantee you, but I would be confident in saying that they will revisit these franchises sometime, whether that be
Probably.
in the form of
Hopefully,
remasters,
fingers
or
crossed.
yeah, whether that be in the form of like remasters, reboots, whatever. But I think first of all, you would release like a remastered collection to say, here's this thing. And then behind the scenes, you're like, let's see how well this is received and how well this sells. Then we'll maybe judge if we need to make new ones of these.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's a plan right there.
Yeah.
Gameplay wise, I'm not sure what I would want to see. Like, I feel like in terms of like a new game, right? Like if we're like, all right, not remasters, next entries in these franchises, I'm not sure what I would want. Like for Infamous, it becomes a question of, okay, well, one, I think I would want the platforming to feel better, because the platforming in each of these games feels like the platforming in Ghost of Tsushima. And like if you play Ghost of Tsushima and you've played their prior games and you did the platforming, you're like, yep, I feel the bones of Infamous and Sly Cooper here for sure. And like that's not to say that the platforming in Ghost is bad, but like it could do for an update, for some modernization and all. So like I would love to see the platforming improve, definitely. In terms of Infamous, I'm not sure like what type of power I would want, because it also comes down to, are we playing as a new character? Are we doing Cole again? Are we doing Delson Rowe? What type of powers are we going to get and all? But I liked the interesting different powers that Delson had with the paper, the neon, the smoke, the rock. There was another one he had that I'm blanking on right now. But I like how creative they got with the powers in that. So just more creative and unique powers, and updating the platforming really across the board for Infamous and Sly Cooper. That's all I would really ask for.
Yeah, I honestly couldn't tell you what I would want from a new Infamous game. I definitely couldn't tell you what I would want from a Sly Cooper game, because again, I haven't played them. But for Infamous, I don't know. I think I would just want it to feel enough like Second Son that it feels like an Infamous game to me. Because again, I haven't played 1 and 2, I've only played Second Son and First Light. So to me, that's what an Infamous game feels like playing. Of course, I'll need to go back and play 1 and 2 in order to get a feel for like the franchise as a whole. But if they make it feel enough like First Light and Second Son to satisfy that, but still innovate and iterate on it enough, then I'd be happy.
Yeah. And I think I would also, it's been a while since I played any of the Infamous games, but I would really like them to continue doubling down and placing more importance on the choices that you can make, the good and the bad. Because they came at predetermined points in the games, like you choose good or bad, and then this happens or that happens. But I think it'd be nice if they like doubled down on it and made it so that, I guess it was a bit more like, well, I was gonna say a bit more like Red Dead Redemption 2 in terms of its honor system. But as far as I remember, Red Dead Redemption 2's was similar to Infamous, where like if you can like, whether you did something good or bad for a person while free roaming, that like had an effect on your good and bad. That happened in Infamous as well.
Yeah.
And also in that, like, certain choices that you can make in Red Dead 2's story at certain points affected your honor and everything, just like in Infamous 2. So I guess just continue fleshing that out. And I guess with it, really make the choices matter and make it so that it's not just like the story is going to be the same, but just like I'm evil or I'm good. Like actually have so that there are like different divergences in the story if you choose to do good or bad. Infamous 2 did that some. Where like if you chose good, you had one set of powers that you didn't get if you chose bad. Like you had a completely
Okay.
like if you chose good, you had ice powers and electricity, as opposed if you chose evil, you had electricity and oil, which allow you to have a different set of powers. And then the only way to have them all was to do a new game plus and then choose the other side. And that's how you were able to have all of them.
Interesting.
But like it also led to different endings too.
Yeah.
Like completely, like you had not just different endings, but like different missions. You would go on different missions if you chose the good side of things as opposed to the evil side of things. It wasn't just like same missions, but I'm an evil person. I'm
Yeah.
making evil choices. So it's doubling down on that. And Sly Cooper, just keep the humor, keep the heart, keep the fun. That's all I would really ask for that.
Yeah. Unless you have anything more to say on all that stuff, I think we should just move on.
No, I think we're good. Bring them back at some point, though, please. I don't just Sony, just bring the series back. Bring back Infamous at some point. Bring back Sly Cooper. We love them. While you're at it, bring back Jack and Daxter in some way, shape, or form. We love them all. Please, please, please do that for us. We'd really appreciate it.
I mean, if you're taking requests, Sony, I'll take a new Killzone as well.
Sure.
No,
I think I prefer Resistance over Killzone, but not bad. I'm sure. Sure, we can do that.
I mean, I know a lot more people will want Resistance, but I like Killzone.
No, yeah, Killzone's fine. I like it too. I played 2 and 3. Fun games.
I only played Shadowfall.
I think majority would prefer Resistance over Killzone.
Yeah, probably. So we're going to move on from Sucker Punch over to Niantic, who has been going through a little bit of trouble, according to a Bloomberg
bit of
report.
A rough spot.
According to a Bloomberg report by none other than Jason Schreier. Niantic CEO John Hank, in an email to staff, said they are laying off 8% of staff, which is around 85 to 90 people. He also wrote that the company was facing, quote, facing a time of economic turmoil, end quote, and had already been, quote, reducing costs in a number of areas. He also said that the company needs to, quote, further streamline our operations in order to best position the company to weather any economic storms that may lay ahead, end quote. This comes just after they announced their new game, NBA All World, an official NBA game where players will walk around the real world meeting basketball stars. Very different to Pokemon Go.
Jesus Christ.
A quote from a blog post by Marcus Matthews, who worked on the original NBA 2K and is the senior producer of NBA All World. Said, quote, NBA All World blends the real world with one-on-one basketball action, collecting, fashion, and more. Our development partner in Orlando, Hype Games, has been stellar at leveraging their sports gaming expertise to deliver a fantastic experience, one that will appeal to both casual and hardcore hoop fans alike, end quote.
Oh, God. So, casual and hardcore hoop fans alike.
Yep.
He couldn't say basketball fans.
Yep.
He said hoop fans. What even is that statement? What even?
No idea.
My God.
One that certainly makes you chuckle, that's for sure.
Blends the I gotta read this again. Blends the real world with one-on-one basketball action, collecting, fashion, and more. Oh my God.
Yeah, grammatically that isn't great.
No, I'm not talking about that. Just what their goal is with this game.
Yeah, I don't see how you go from Pokemon Go to this. Like, don't get me wrong, like I hope it works for them, but I don't know, like, do we think this game is gonna do as well as Pokemon
It's not.
Go?
It's not going to.
Of course
and the
it's
simple
not.
here's the reason why. Here's how you already know it's not going to before you even like take into consideration that like this game just sounds like bad. It's the fact that none of their other games that they've done since Pokemon Go have been able to even reach the level of success that Pokemon Go has. They tried the Harry Potter one. That one they shut down, I believe, earlier this year or last year. But they shut that one down because it wasn't doing all that well. They had a Pikmin one that I think is either still going on or that's been shut down. Like there's been a couple different games they've done since Pokemon Go, and not a single one has been able to reach that level of success that Pokemon Go had. And even Pokemon Go, like from the stories or headlines I see every now and then, things even over there are like touch and go sometimes in terms of like community reception and how well community is liking certain things and all like that. Especially since, once the pandemic hit and all, and it was just like, all right, everyone's got to be at home and stuff. And then if I'm right, they had changed the setting in the game, making it so that you could do more stuff just like in the game while being at home. So that like, I think it was that they expanded the range of the game. So like normally, like I think the range for things is like 4 miles or something. It's like normally the range for things you could do on your phone in the game is like one distance, but they made it longer so that people could do more while being at home and all like that. That way you wouldn't have to be like going directly up to people walking around during the height of the pandemic and everything like that. And then I believe it was last year they went to change it back to how it was before. The community was like, don't do that. No, we like it like this. Don't do that. Why would you do that? And then I believe they like kept it as like the updated version, the updated distance and all like that. But like, yeah, even with Pokemon Go, like things can be touch and go sometimes and all like that. And it's as far as I understand, like Pokemon Go is like nowhere near the heyday it was summer 2016 when like the world was taken by storm with Pokemon Go. You had hordes of people running down streets. Like there's a Snorlax, run for the Snorlax, go. Yeah. Like I remember because I was in school at the time at college, and I remember going to the park with 2 of my friends, and we had gone out to play Pokemon Go, right? This is the first time I had done it, like going out to actually play the game at all.
Yeah.
But we had gone out, and while we're at the park, just like you could see a bunch of other people on their phone all playing Pokemon Go. I remember being here in New York one time, walking somewhere, I forgot where I was going. It wasn't playing, but I was going somewhere. And I saw this old woman playing Pokemon Go on her phone. Had to be like at least 50, 60 years old. I'm just like, that shows the reach of this game. Yeah. Like it took the world by storm. And, they have the Pokemon Go convention and celebration that they do each year and stuff like that. Like Pokemon Go is just a bona fide success. Nothing will be able to match that because nothing is Pokemon. Nothing is Pokemon. And on top of that, the idea of Pokemon Go works so well because that is the core concept of Pokemon. When you try and shoehorn that idea into other IPs to clearly capitalize on like your hit success, it's not going to go that well. It's not going to work as well. Like, like the idea might make some sense for Harry Potter. It might make some sense for Pikmin. But like Pikmin's not going to reach that same success because it's Pikmin. It's not Pokemon. Harry Potter was probably like the next best attempt to reach that level of success in terms of like brand name and all like that. But it just didn't work out that well for Harry Potter. Pokemon is just like on another level in terms of like the most profitable franchise in the world. I think it's the number 1 entertainment franchise. I mean, if it's not number 1, it's number 2. It's one of those up there. So this NBA game is not going to hit that. It's just never going to.
No, and like I think also the appeal of Pokemon Go is like, yes, like that's what Pokemon is you walk around and you catch Pokemon, and the idea of being able to do that in the real world with augmented reality is awesome. I don't think something like that had been done before that well. So like that was probably like one of the big appeal factors, because I remember when like I watched videos of like you couldn't move for people playing Pokemon Go in like parks and stuff. So I mean, I don't think it's like died necessarily, because I still see quite a lot of Pokemon Go streamers on Twitch, but it's definitely not where it once was. This NBA game, absolutely not going to do as well. Like the market for people who would play this game, I think, is much smaller than people who would play Pokemon Go, and it does not have the same appeal.
The people who would play this game would rather play actual basketball.
Yeah.
They would rather play actual basketball or NBA 2K. They're not going to be out here doing this game with their phone instead. It's just very silly. It doesn't make sense.
Unless you're a hardcore hoop fan.
Here's my thing. Like, blends the real world with one-on-one basketball action, collecting, fashion, and more. Here's the thing. The people who are playing, like I said, would already be doing one-on-one or team matches for real against actual people in for basketball. They already most likely collect like basketball paraphernalia. They already most likely have basketball related clothing, like basketball sneakers and stuff like that, and other basketball related things. This game does nothing for them. Like, their interest will be elsewhere. It just seems so pointless and so silly and so stupid.
Yeah.
Look, that sounds a bit harsh. I don't want to say silly. It does seem pointless. It does seem silly, not stupid. Stupid sounded really harsh to say, but it just I guess from like a money perspective, you're like, oh, NBA, it makes sense.
Yeah.
And I guess from that perspective, yes, it makes sense. But like, practically speaking, this does not make sense.
No. And two things, actually. One, Pikmin Bloom is still available. I can download it on my phone. Not that I'm going to. And two, I just want to like circle back to something that was at the very start of this. It really sucks that they've laid off 90 people.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, we kind of got away from that. That does suck. And I think like there's also potential for more layoffs to happen as well, I think they have said. So like that is a real shame. I'm not trying to take away from their layoffs by just ragging on the game.
No, of course not. That wasn't my intention. I just wanted to circle back to it and kind of highlight that a little bit more than we did.
Yes, for sure.
But I would honestly, unfortunately, expect more layoffs from Niantic because this NBA game is most likely not going to do as well as I think they hope it will.
Most likely. I mean, that goes to the next point you got here in the doc.
Yeah. So Niantic also announced that it has cancelled 2 upcoming and 2 unannounced projects, which were Heavy Metal, which was a Transformers game that was announced last year, and a game called Hamlet, which was a collaboration between Niantic and Punch Drunk, the company behind Sleep No More, which I no idea what that is.
I've never heard of it.
There was something that I read that was like a Punch Drunk or some sort of like interactive media company. So I would assume that would make sense for a partnership between them and Niantic, but I don't know. I haven't looked into it or know anything about any of that.
Yeah.
And the 2 unannounced projects were called Blue Sky and Snowball, and that's all the information that Jason Schreier had in his report on Bloomberg. So like, again, kind of like what you were alluding to is like, because they have cancelled 4 projects, that is also gonna, I would imagine, if not heavily, then very softly. Not very. I was trying to make a weird point there. We're just gonna move past what I was trying to say.
You're trying to say if it didn't heavily affect them, it would have like some sort of lighter effect on them.
Yeah,
in terms of staffing and all.
Yeah, we would. It's definitely going to have some impact on layoffs. Whether that be heavy or not, we're going to have to wait and see.
Yeah,
that's a more succinct way of putting what I was trying to say.
Basically, good job. You got there. On the
yep. Do you have anything more to add on Niantic's troubles at the moment?
Not at all. I mean, you always hope for the best for companies and stuff like that. You don't want them to go through hard times and stuff. Because the people that are there, they got, you want the people that are there to be taken care of and be successful and so on and so forth. So you don't want anything like that to happen. You don't want anything bad to happen to them. But this NBA game doesn't sound like it's the solution.
Yeah, and I mean, like as much as I don't think it's going to do well, I hope it does at least okay, because I mean, more video games is never a bad thing. Like regardless of what they are or who's making them. Like,
right.
Like the industry isn't gonna, like, what's the word I'm trying to look for? The industry isn't gonna, it's not gonna have any negative effect on the industry by releasing a game that maybe not a whole lot of people are going to enjoy, but hopefully some people do, and Niantic is able to like claw back some of the success they've had in the past.
Yep. So that's a good way to wrap that up right there.
Yeah. And that's going to wrap up me talking for a bit because you're going to take the next thing.
Yeah, we had a Nintendo Direct Mini as a partner direct, which upset a lot of people who were like, where's the actual direct? I want Zelda. I want Metroid. I want Mario Kart. And, just angry gamers on the internet, just like, why can't I get what I want?
Yeah.
I want what I want. There are rumors that an actual direct is going to be next month. We'll see, is what it is. Take rumors with a grain of salt. But this Direct Mini was actually pretty cool. Watched the whole thing. It was about 25 minutes. I personally, again, watched it half paying attention while I was at work doing other stuff at the same time. But I liked basically everything that I saw there. Some things more than others. Obviously, some things I thought looked cool, but I probably won't play. But there was a lot of cool things here regardless. And I think a lot of people walked away from this like pleasantly surprised, like, oh, wow, actually, this could have been a main direct. Like if you threw in like a few first party things in here, this could have been a good main direct. But I want to go over some highlights from this direct that we got. Well, Direct Mini, I should say. First up, Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope. It appeared here, and it is releasing on October 20th. It came here with I think it was like a short trailer and then like a kind of a gameplay walkthrough of sorts. Like, hey, combat in this game is a bit different than the first game. Here's how, kind of showing how combat is different and all. Revealed that Bowser is going to be a character you could play as in the game, which is awesome. He's joining the team. That's cool. And then the next day, Ubisoft held like their own showcase for the game with another like different trailer showing off more environments and all and everything, and then like a gameplay overview of the game and all. So it seems really fun. I don't know if I'm going to play it, but I will say watching the gameplay overview from Ubisoft's thing did make me more interested in the game than I was before. Still just not sure if I'm going to play it just because I'm not really that into RTS games. Because of that, that's like the one thing that keeps me from playing it. But I've always thought Mario plus Rabbids went like a blast. It was a great idea. And I'm happy that this sequel looks to be like as good as the first one. Keiran, you got any thoughts on it?
I mean, not particularly. I played a bit of the first one. I didn't particularly enjoy it. Like, I think it's a good game, but like you, like RTS just isn't really my thing. So I didn't particularly enjoy my experience overall with the first one. I might pick this up at some point if I'm looking for a game to play, but I mean, I have plenty in my catalog so far to play, so
yeah,
probably not.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it looked good.
It did. It's great. Looks like it's gonna be a lot of fun
Yeah.
on October 20th. So Nintendo fans got something fun to look forward to. Something you could play now, Portal Companion Collection. It's Portal 1 and 2, correct?
Yep.
Yes, Portal 1 and 2 on Switch now. Awesome. Finally there. Here's one that got a lot of people like excited and then like super bad at the same time. Me being one of them. Nier Automata, the End of Your High edition, has been announced. It's releasing on October 6th for the Switch. It's basically, it has all the DLC for Nier Automata. It has some exclusive costumes for the Switch version. It's going to be running 1080p docked, I think 720p handheld, 30 FPS. Cool. Awesome. I actually am a bit on the fence as to whether or not I'll get it. Probably is one of those things that maybe down the line, if I'm ever like in a Nier Automata fix, maybe I will.
Yeah.
But I've already played it on PS4, so I don't know if I need to play it again. But here's what got a lot of people mad. It's not a cloud version. It's a native port. It's a native Switch version of this game. This is a PS4 game. A native PS4 game that is getting a native Switch port. You mean to tell me, Square Enix and all the other fans in the world, that you can put Nier Automata natively on the Switch, 1080p docked, 30 FPS, but you can't be bothered to put native versions of any Kingdom Hearts game on the Switch? You have to be doing this on purpose. What is the reason? What is the actual reason behind the BS? I want to say other things, but I'm not going to because they're a bit more aggressive. But it doesn't make sense. How on earth can you just play us like this? Do you think we're fools? Are we just toys in your game? Do we not matter to you? What is the logic? It doesn't make sense. We said, hey, Kingdom Hearts on Switch. Can you do that? That'd be nice. You know, they're PS2 games. Majority of them are like PS2 games or PS2 looking games ported to PS3 on PS4. That should be no problem for the Switch. Kingdom Hearts 3, we could understand that might be difficult. We could understand that. So if that has to be cloud, fine. But the others, they could be native ports. You'll give it to you on the Switch, except all of them will be cloud versions. Doesn't make sense. Nier is just natively there, though. I am offended. I'm upset. I'm mad. All I want is to be able to play Kingdom Hearts on the go. That's all I ask for. And I don't think I'm asking for too much, considering you have put Nier Automata on the Switch natively.
You played us like a damn fiddle.
Not even like a fiddle. They just like left us out to dry. It's like that meme where like it's like something's above water and then like in the ocean you see the skeleton in the chair. It's like that is us Kingdom Hearts fans waiting for on Switch. What is there in the ocean? Just like us stuck with the cloud version. Like really? Very annoying.
Yeah, or like the meme where it's like the guy like holding hands with his girlfriend, but he's like looking around.
Basically, yeah, yep, that's exactly it. I've seen so many memes about this, and it's just like all of it's accurate, all of it's true. We're being done so dirty. Thank you for Kingdom Hearts 4, but give me the rest of the series on Switch in some capacity. That's not a cloud version. If Kingdom Hearts 2 is to be cloud, I understand that. I can make my peace with that. But all the others have no reason to not be native versions. There's just no getting around it. There really isn't.
Yeah.
End rant. Moving on. Happy that Nier Automata is coming to Switch. Good place for it. Moving on. We got finally official confirmation. Persona 3 Portable, 4 Golden, and 5 Royal all coming to Switch at long last. So you could play these games on every modern platform. PlayStation, Xbox, Switch, PC. Fantastic. It's also been confirmed that the PS5, Xbox, and PC versions of Persona 5 Royal will have all the DLC that came out for that game. The Switch version, apparently not getting it. Unless that announcement is also coming like weeks later. Who knows at this point? But still, now I'm like, yeah, double dipping on Persona 5. I'm going to be getting it on my Switch for sure. I also don't know, though. They haven't seen official confirmation of whether or not there will be a free upgrade for the PS4 version of Worlds to the PS5 version of it. Because I have it on PS4 physically. It'd be nice if it was a free upgrade. If not, I mean, like, I'll happily buy it. Well, I don't know if I'll say happily buy it again, but I'll buy it again. It's my second favorite game of all time. I'll do it. But I'm definitely getting it on Switch. I will definitely get it on Switch so I can play Persona 5 on the go.
I'll probably play it on Xbox.
Do you? As long as you play the game. I don't give a damn where you play it. Play that game. Moving on, Return to Monkey Island appear. It'll be a Switch console launch exclusive when it comes out later this year. And this is the game that Neil Druckmann talked about. Because after this reveal here, I think this was the first time seeing like actual gameplay of it. All we knew before was that it was announced. This is the first time seeing actual gameplay of it, I believe. And many people on the internet started bringing all types of hate towards Ron Gilbert, creator of the game and everything. Bringing all sorts of hate to his way because they don't like the way the game looks visually and so on and so forth. So much so that I believe he shut down his blog and he has said that he's not going to be talking about the game anymore until it's out because the internet and people's reactions, these angry reactions and everything, has sucked the joy of sharing from him. Which is an absolute shame. Like, just because the game doesn't look the way that you like or would have wanted it to look does not mean that you need to, like, bring all sorts of hate and anger and harassment towards the creator to the point where they're, like, shutting down their blog. They're like, I'm not talking about the games at this point. Like, I don't even like doing it anymore. Like, we're just going to make the game is what it is. Neil Druckmann, like, put out a tweet, like, in support of him, like, guys, like, come on now, so on and so forth. I don't remember specifically what he said, but it is absolutely a shame that people did that. You all really should be ashamed of yourselves. Again, like, games are games. It's nothing is that serious to warrant that type of reaction at all from anyone. It's disgusting, to say the least. I'm probably not gonna play Return to Monkey Island. I never played the other ones. But maybe if I learn more about it, maybe I'll get into it. Maybe I'll try it out.
Yeah, I mean, I watched the trailer. It definitely interested me, but I've never looked into that franchise before, so I have no idea. I might get it, maybe.
Yeah, maybe something to keep the eye on. Three more quick ones here. RPG time, The Legend of Right. It's not the first time we've seen this game. We've seen it before at previous events, whether it be Nintendo Directs or other showcases elsewhere. This is coming to Switch on August 18th. I'm very much looking forward to it. I do want to play this game. Looks like fun. We saw some Sonic Frontiers gameplay, which, surprise, surprise, actually looked good. It actually looked good this time. I was like, oh, okay, this actually looks fun. Like some of the jank is still here, but it looks like it could be fun now. So yeah, keep an eye on it. And then Live Alive, a demo is out now. It lets you play through 3 chapters of the game and also bring your full save data over to the full game, which is awesome. 2 things. One, I love that Square Enix has been doing this with a lot of their games coming to Switch now. They like put a demo out for it that's like a good chunk of the main game. And then they say, hey, you can play through this and then you can bring your save data over to the full game. I love that they've been doing it. Like a lot more publishers and developers should do that. It's a really great move, consumer friendly. Like you only win by doing that. Second thing, I want to play this demo really badly because I want to play Live Alive. I want to get Live Alive. I don't think I'm going to play the demo though because I want to just play Live Alive straight through. And it comes out later this month. So I don't want to like start it, get through 3 chapters, and then have to put it on pause for like a couple weeks. So
yeah, July 22nd, right?
That is correct. It's a Monday. Yes,
yeah.
July 22nd. I have that date in my head. So waiting on it. Very much excited for it. But yeah, those are some of my highlights. Some of the highlights I wanted to point out from the Nintendo Direct Mini. Of course, there were a number of other different announcements from it. There was one game called Blanc, if I'm correct. It's like no text, no voices in the game, but like you're playing as 2 different animals that have to work their way through the story. It's in black and white. It's a fawn and a wolf. I really like that game. There's a whole lot of cool stuff there in the Direct Mini. So definitely give it a watch. It's only 25 minutes. I promise your time will not be wasted.
Yeah, the only other thing I've seen from it is there was some form of like 10-game Mega Man collection that's coming to Switch.
Yeah, the Mega Man Battle Network collection. Yep. Yeah, I never played those games when I was younger, but I always liked that design of Mega Man. Like I like the Mega Man X design, and I like the Mega Man Battle Network design of Mega Man. They've always been like my favorites. I don't know why. It just happened. I just like to look at them a lot. And I'm not even a Mega Man person. I don't even know if I watched the Mega Man Battle Network show when it was on like Kids WB. But I just always liked that design.
Yeah. I will not be getting that because Mega Man is hard and I don't want to.
But Battle Network isn't like regular Mega Man.
Oh,
it's more like I think it's more like strategy in terms of like your placement on the field and everything. You got to watch it. You got to look at gameplay of this thing, but it's not your typical platformer for Mega Man.
Okay. So that will conclude our main news topics for this week, but we do have a few brief mentions to get through. We're going to start off with something that made me quite sad because I watched this guy's content. Technoblade, a popular Minecraft YouTuber, has passed away aged 23 after a battle with cancer, which is very unfortunate. Obviously, our thoughts are with fans, friends, family, everyone who was affected by that. I watched a few of his videos a while ago when I got into like Minecraft YouTube. It's sad. He made some good content.
Oh yeah, I never heard of him until I saw a lot of people on my timeline liking and retweeting posts of like people saying, paying their respects towards him and everything like that. And I was just like, oh wow, it must have been a big deal. And then like the YouTube gaming Twitter, they tweeted out about him. The Minecraft Twitter themselves tweeted out. I was just like, wow, this guy must have been like huge in the Minecraft community.
Oh yeah.
Everyone just be coming out in support of him like this. It's like, wow.
Yeah, I mean, like I hadn't watched his content in a while, but I've seen a couple of videos, and I found out by a bunch of people on my Twitter feed retweeting, or not retweeting, but essentially paying their respects.
Yeah, sad day.
Yeah. EA was also having a sad day earlier this week when they faced major backlash to a tweet mocking single-player games, which I'll read for you just now because it's absolutely ridiculous. There's like a trend going around just now where it's like they're 10, but
it's a meme. So it's like, say for example, Kieran's version of it would be they're a 10, but they don't like Hollow Knight.
Yeah.
Just like,
Yeah,
wait, like something. They're an amazing, perfect. They're perfect in every way except for this thing, except for this one thing that drags them down.
Yeah, I think my favorite one I've seen so far is there are 10, but their favorite character is Joffrey.
Oh man, that's good.
So EA tweeted out there are 10, but they only like playing single player games. And I saw that and I was like, how in God's name did you expect that to go well?
I was like, oh man, that's
who
bad idea.
who was put in charge of the EA social account that day?
Yep. I saw it and I tweeted out. I quote tweeted it with the clip of the guy from the movie ATL. He's like, I know that ain't who I think that is. Like, I was just like, really now? Like, I don't think you should be the one making this joke, considering that you're also the company that was just like, yeah, single player games are dead, like they don't sell. Like, you probably shouldn't be the ones saying that at all, but okay, do you? That's not gonna go well for you.
Yeah, that to put it lightly, that wasn't received well.
It wasn't. And then later on, they went back. They're like, "Yep, we'll take the L. We deserved it."
Yeah,
but also they're not a 10 because they're an 11. Just like, all right, nice way to try and make up for it.
Yeah, didn't really work, but
embrace your L. Embrace your L is what it is.
Yep. Nintendo, this I actually found quite interesting. Nintendo have launched Wide Care in Japan, which is a service that costs 200 yen, which is around $18 or £15 a year, and covers your Nintendo Switch or Switch Lite and accompanying hardware such as Joy-Cons, TV dock, AC adapters, so basically things that come with your Switch, against natural breakdown or accidental damage, but there are no plans to launch the service in the West at the moment.
I did not hear about this, but that is cool. It's nice that they're doing that.
Yeah, I thought that was very interesting. I think that's actually a very, very reasonable price for that as well.
Yeah, that is. I think they should definitely bring that to the like everywhere else in the world.
Yeah. Fire Emblem Heroes has reportedly passed $1 billion in sales, which is insane.
Money.
Yep. Halo Infinite's campaign co-op beta will run from July 11th to the 22nd, will include the entire campaign and will be available to anyone who owns the game or has a Game Pass subscription.
Caveat on this, asterisk. You cannot do this with your current campaign. In order to do this, first you need to sign up through Halo Insider at all. But aside from that, if you do this, you have to create a brand new campaign. You start a new campaign for the co-op campaign here. And that save data, if I'm right, doesn't carry over to your other one either. This is its own separate save file and everything like that. So you cannot just jump into the campaign you're on mission 3. You can't continue that one right now that you currently have, and you start all over again from scratch with whoever you want to do the co-op with. It's important to note caveat.
Yep.
And I don't think any progress you make will carry over to the full thing when it officially releases either. I don't think.
No, I don't think either. Spellbreak, a magic-based battle royale, is shutting down in early 2023 following developer Proletariat being acquired by Blizzard to work on World of Warcraft. I hate that.
It's sad. I never played Spellbreak, but I remember it being announced, and I was thinking, that seems cool. It seems unique. It seems different from majority of other battle royale games out there. And I wish I did play it. So maybe if I can't play it on PS4, maybe I'll see about downloading it, giving it a go before it shuts down early next year. But yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame that they're getting acquired and then having to shut down that game.
Yeah. I think I did play Spellbreak a tiny bit when it first came out because I saw it and I also thought it looked interesting. I think I downloaded it on the Epic Game Store. But I honestly would have played it for maybe an hour and that's it. So I don't really have any comment on it. What I do have a comment on is Blizzard buying them and making them a sports studio. I hate that. I hate it when companies do that. That's annoying and takes away the talent of many, many developers creating content. Please stop it.
Nudge, nudge, Vicarious Visions, nudge, nudge. Pro Skater 3 and 4 canceled because Vicarious Visions wasn't available to work on it.
Yep. Skull and Bones could potentially be arriving on November 8th after an apparent Xbox store entry was found by @Illumia Italia on Twitter, which is
When
interesting.
that game comes, it'll come.
Yeah,
Maybe I'll play it. Maybe I won't. I most likely won't. Game's coming though.
yeah.
Come hell or high water, that game is getting released
Yeah, I know.
due to contractual obligations with the Singapore government. That
Yep.
game is coming out one way or another.
Sea of Stars has been delayed into next year to 2023.
Sad face, but I'm still excited for it.
Yeah. Sega's interested in making live-action TV and movie Sega's interested in making live-action TV and movie adaptations of Atlas games.
That's gonna be really
Cool.
interesting. Like there's already anime adaptations of Persona 4 and 5. I think that Atlas's games would probably work better as anime adaptations as opposed to like live action. Like I'm trying to sit here and think like Catherine could probably be like live action since that's more about like a romance and like relationship dynamics and stuff like that. But like Persona or Shin Megami Tensei is like a live action show or movie. I'm just like, I don't know. I think that would be better served as an anime instead. I don't know about that one, Chief. We'll wait and see on that.
Yeah. Maybe I'll be more interested in that like when I play Persona, because right now I have no interest in that whatsoever.
You'll probably agree with me. You'll probably be like, yeah, should just keep it like animated. Don't do a live action.
And I actually didn't see this, but this is really interesting to me. Last brief mention we have is the Horizon TV show is potentially called Horizon 2074. Show is filming in Toronto, and this title seems to confirm that it is set during the fall of civilization, long before the time of the games. I really love it when companies do that, when like they don't like, don't get me wrong, I would still love to see a Horizon TV show set in like the modern day world of Horizon, but that like time period in that lore really interests me.
It does. And like it's one of the things I really like about Forbidden West and Zero Dawn when I played it, but it's been so long since I played, I couldn't really remember. Forbidden West is more fresh to me. Going through that game and like just picking up the audio dialogues and or reading like the data logs that people will leave behind of like things from the modern day and all like that, just so fascinating. And there's a section in Forbidden West. I don't remember how far you got into the game, but I'll be as spoiler free as I possibly can be on this. There's a section where you are essentially in this tomb and you are reading a bunch of data logs and hearing a bunch of audio logs that were left from like around the fall of civilization, and it continues to build on story stuff from the first Horizon game. It is absolutely fascinating to hear it all and read it all. You're just like, wow, this is so interesting and stuff. So if it's set during this time period, that'll be really cool. I wonder what prominent characters from like Horizon's past story, like during this time frame, I wonder which of them will be in the story, like if any of them will be in the show, how prominent of a factor they'll be in it, or if it'll be like a completely new cast and it's like how they are trying to like manage during all this. It'll be really cool to see. But I do think that if this might have been the best way to go about a Horizon TV show if they weren't going to do one that was like in the current time of Horizon. Especially if it's a show and not a movie, consider just, with budgets and everything like that.
Yeah, exactly. One, damn, what was I going to say? I can't remember. It might come back to me.
It slipped your mind.
Yeah.
Darn it all.
So that's, again, going to conclude all of our brief mentions. So we're going to move on to what we've been playing. I'll throw it to you first. You have a couple of games on here. I have 4. One of them, well, I suppose both of them I'm very interested in, but one more than the other.
I'm surprised you're doing it to me first. I thought you'd want to go first on this.
No, sure.
Okay, so Kirby, I finished the main story. At long last. I think I finished it Sunday night or Monday night, one of the two. Finished the main story. That game was, I've said it every week. I've talked about this game. Such a fun game, such a blast, such a creative joy to go through. It had actually, like, there were some points that were challenging, but the final boss actually gave me a tough time. Like, I did not have any game overs until I got to the final boss, and I died to the final boss like 3 times, something like 3-4 tries to get through it. And I was just like, oh man, a challenge. let's go. um, but yeah, I got through it all, and then after you beat the game and you go through the credits are real cute and charming and stuff. But after you finish going through the credits, there's like a little like post-credit scene that says like to be continued and stuff, which I thought was gonna be like, oh, DLC, cool, we'll get DLC at some point. But no, I think that it's like, no, actually, once you get back to your Waddle Dee town, you could continue the story because it's like you're like with the post story with these basically with post game levels, right? I've only done one of them so far. I'm not gonna say like what exactly the story entails for these post game levels, but essentially you're gonna be going back through each of the worlds you went through in the main story, like level by level, right? So let's say the first region, right, which is like the destroyed city or whatnot, it has I think like 3 or 4 main story levels, and then the beach one has like 3 or 4 levels, right, like main levels.
Yeah.
If I'm correct, how I understand it or how I perceived it to be was the post game storyline here that you're doing. You go to each world, like to each region, and you play through each level back to back to back to back, essentially in a row.
Okay.
And you have to try and collect a certain amount of a specific object that plays into this post game story. And I don't like the first level, the first world had 50. I don't know if all of them have 50. And I don't know if there's a specific number I need to collect in order to do the final thing in this post game story. I haven't done too much of it, but it gives you it basically you're going through levels from the main game that you did. They're just now harder. There are more enemies on them. There are stronger enemies on them. I don't want to say stronger, but I guess you could say maybe stronger, but there are more enemies on the levels than there were before. Some different enemies on these levels that weren't there in the original versions. And yeah, it's kind of like a kind of in a sense a gauntlet. It's like, all right, see, get through the whole world. Don't die, collect all the items that are here in this world, and then move on to the next one and stuff. So I'm excited to go through those. Very excited to go through those, get through this post-game story stuff. And there's also like other things I can do in my Waddle Dee town now that I've like beat the game and all. But yeah, I really enjoyed Kirby in the Forgotten Land. Very much enjoyed it. Definitely like 8.5 as a rating, as a score, as of what I would have given it. It's so damn fun, so charming, so creative. Loved every second of this game, start to finish. You should play it. Like this, play the demo. Play the demo at the very least. You'll understand what I mean. It's such a good game.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely plan to pick it up at some point. Just when that might be is up in the air. But it is a game that I'm going to play because it looks really, really fun.
Although I don't even know if I could advocate for you getting the game because you still have like 20 other games to play that you've already started. So like, yeah, I don't know if
a lot more than 20.
Yeah, I don't know if I could advocate for you adding another one to that list. Although Kirby is like significantly shorter than all of them, but who knows?
Yeah, my backlog has just grown by like 400 games now that I can actually play games on my PC.
Shaking my head. I'm shaking my head. So yeah, finished that. And then this week I started up the Witch Queen campaign in Destiny 2. You know, over the past couple weeks, I've been working my way through Destiny 2 campaigns. I did Shadowkeep. I did Beyond Light the past 2 weeks. I finished those. And this week I started up Witch Queen. I've only done a few missions in Witch Queen's campaign. I've only done, I think, actually like the first 2. The last main story thing I did was I met the have not done Witch Queen yet, correct or no?
I don't own Witch Queen.
Got it. I will try to be spoiler-ish free for you, but I mean not that big a spoiler. But I'm at Savathûn Stone World, and I believe the character's name is Flinch. I believe is the character's name. I met them. And after meeting them, I had stopped for the night that night. And I haven't done more story stuff since then. But that is where I am in the game right now. And what I can say of Witch Queen so far is that one, I like the level design. I like just like the art direction of Savathûn's Throne World. It looks regal, yet otherworldly, yet beautiful at the same time, and like in a bit of a sinister way. And like it doesn't, from what I've seen so far, it doesn't have like the creepy, slimy factor of Oryx's ship in Taken King. It has a theme that's more befitting of who Savathun is, if that makes any sense. And from what I've seen so far, I haven't gone all around her throne world, but her throne world is actually pretty big. It's pretty sizable to say the least. I'm excited to explore it, get around it, do some more exploration in it, traversing it, and all.
Yeah.
It looks like it's going to be a cool place. It looks like it's going to be a cool environment to go through. I've faced off against, I think, one or two of the Lightbringer, the light bearer hive that she has. I believe both of them were void ones. One of the void ones was like a void titan, and the other void one was like a void warlock. They're fairly easy for me to go up against. And then there are also some new enemies where I say new enemies. They're basically your regular hive enemies, except they have like an extra shield over them, right? And you take out this extra shield, and like this glowing, I guess you could call this glowing bug appears over them, right? If you don't shoot the glowing bug, it goes back to them and gives them their overshield again. If you kill the host, right, and the bug is just in the air, if you're nearby it, it'll go and attack you and explode. It won't kill you right away, but it'll do damage to you.
Yeah.
So what you should do is whenever you like get rid of the host overshield and the bug comes out of them, shoot the bug. They're a bit of a hard target because they're small and they kind of fly around a bit. But you shoot the bug, and when it explodes, it like hurts anyone that's nearby it. So they bring an interesting wrinkle to things. Not like too crazy a wrinkle, but like they could be a host. They could like attach onto the acolytes, the knights. Like they could attach onto, enemies that would normally be super easy to take out and stuff. So I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it so far. I am enjoying Witch Queen. I plan to play some more of it this week. I'm right now in the stage where I'm like, all right, Destiny 2 will be like my ongoing game I play, and I want to have another game I play at the same time as it that I'm bouncing between the two of them on. So right now, I think Kirby will be that until I finish off the post-game story stuff, or maybe Kirby might be a game I go back to every now and then. But I'm trying to decide what the next like main focus game I have is going to be. Stray is coming up soon, so I'm going to be playing Stray soon. Live is in the month, so I don't know if I want to start SMT5 because I have it here. I've been wanting to play it for a hot minute, so I'm trying to decide: do I start Shin Megami Tensei 5, or do I maybe start up a game on the Xbox? Do I maybe start up like Final Fantasy 13 2? Do I maybe start up? Do I try going back to Gears Ultimate Edition? I see you smiling. I know what you're thinking, and no, I'm not doing Hollow Knight anytime soon. It's I'm gonna do it. It's just not right now.
Okay.
So yeah, I've been thinking about what the other game is going to be. But Destiny 2 will be my ongoing game for the time being right now. My light level is also like 1510 or 1511, something like that. I leveled up quite a bit. So
nice.
like I'm at the point where I believe like I'm at the soft cap, I think, and in terms of like your level. So like the point where I think blues have capped out at like 1510, I think, and now I'm going to need more purples to like actually level myself up, I think. So working my way up. I'm not quite at end game stuff yet, so I'm not worried about min-maxing too much. But once I finish Witch Queen's campaign, then I'll worry about, all right, min-maxing, like, all right, what's best for me to have, and so on and so forth.
Yeah, sorry, while you were talking, I looked it up. I'm probably going to buy Witch Queen when we finish recording because it's in the Steam sale. So
nice.
I might as well.
But you gotta do it on PC, not on Xbox. I thought you played it on Xbox.
Is it not cross progression?
It is cross progression, but I don't know if you could play Witch Queen on your Xbox if you don't have it on your Xbox.
Oh yeah, no, like that's fine. Like I'll just play on PC.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean that's how I started playing Destiny 2, and then I just like transitioned over to Xbox because my Xbox was more powerful than my PC. I'm like, I'm gonna have a better experience there. But now I have a 3080. I'll get on PC.
Gotcha. Cool. Makes sense.
Okay, so I have played 4 games this week. This week. I'll talk about them randomly because they're not in order. But I'll start with Halo Infinite. I really don't have much to say on this other than all the games that I've played on PC. Sorry,
Okay.
except the top one, here because I got that on Xbox. But
Okay.
I obviously, because I built a new PC, I wanted to test out what can I play on it? What's my frame rate like? How well does it run? So I played a bunch of Halo Infinite. I think I played maybe like 3 or 4 hours of it.
Nice.
Specifically multiplayer. I don't even have the campaign installed. I've only been playing multiplayer. The community on, at least from my experience, I don't know if this is for everyone, but the people that I have been matched with on PC are far more toxic than they are on Xbox.
Well, I mean, that kind of comes with the territory, doesn't it?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. I don't think I have had a match yet where I have not been teabagged every time I die. So that's nice. Luckily,
That's
I
your PC gamer welcome.
yeah, that's my welcome back to
Like,
PC.
welcome back, console peasant.
Yeah. So yeah, not had like a good experience with the community on PC so far, but gameplay wise, it's Halo Infinite. It plays really well. There's not enough content. Not going to go into it more.
Has your computer been able to keep up with it though? That's the main question here.
I can run it at 1440p, every setting cranked to the absolute max, and still get 120 frames a second.
So you have a base of a PC.
Yep.
But can it run Crysis? We still don't know the answer to that.
I'll just for you, I will install Crysis and I'll get back to you next week on if it can run Crysis.
If it can't run Crysis, then it's a dud.
Yeah.
Then like you gotta do something like ship it back or I don't know, pawn it off to someone else if it can't run Crysis.
I've been playing Minecraft actually. Not a lot. I've only played maybe for like an hour and a half, 2 hours.
RTX?
I've specifically been playing Minecraft because I wanted to try Minecraft RTX, and my God, does it look good? It looks.
I'm sure.
I was planning on recording gameplay for it this week and having it on this week, but I may have forgotten to do that until I remembered when we started recording. So I will record a gameplay of Minecraft RTX for next week.
Cool.
But yeah, like it looks really, really good. It plays like Minecraft, of course. But I'm really, really liking the effect that like when you're in a cave and it's pitch black, a torch doesn't light up the entire cave now. It lights up like a small portion of the cave in like in as realistic of a way it can for Minecraft.
Yeah. So it makes it look more like the ambiance and the mood. It's like set a bit more.
Yeah. Yeah,
nice.
I mean that kind of just goes for how it looks overall. Is it just looks more what I would expect modern day Minecraft to look like.
Mm-hmm. So given that, do you understand? Do you have now like a better perspective on like why now it's probably taking so long for RTX to come to Minecraft on console? Having seen how it is on PC. Because remember, like it was sometime, was it earlier this year or last year? Like it came to console for a moment, but then they took it away. They're like, no. Actually, that wasn't supposed to happen.
Yeah.
And like I think the rumor was that the reason was because it doesn't run that well on Series S, and they want the ray tracing to have parity between Series S and X. I think was the rumor.
Yeah, that makes sense because like, so I tested it with RTX on and RTX off. RTX off, I was getting anywhere from like, I think it was somewhere ridiculous, like 250, 400 frames a second, somewhere in that region. But when I turned on RTX, it brought it down to like 110. So,
like it's clearly demanding.
Yeah, I mean, any ray tracing application in games is demanding. But I also think it was because I hadn't fine tuned like the settings on my graphics card, like fan curves and overclocking and stuff. So I'll have to go back and check that. But it's definitely demanding. It makes the game look a whole lot better. It makes the experience more immersive, in my opinion. So I'll have some gameplay for it next week.
Okay, cool.
A game that I downloaded with the intention to use it to like kill time.
That didn't happen.
I have since played it for like 28 hours or something like that. Is Civilization 6.
Dear Lord,
Like
28 hours.
Yeah, like
You killed a lot of time. I can tell you that much.
I just kill a lot of time. Like so I am typically not an RTS person, as I mentioned previously in this episode, but there is something about Civilization. I don't know what it is. I couldn't explain it to you if you asked me to, but like there is something about Civilization I just find really, really fun. So I've played a lot of Civ 6. I've done like a variety of games where I went from the the very first era to the very last era. I've started at the very last era and turned off the turn limit so I can just, play and explore and kind of continue playing after turn limits, because there was one game, right? Don't ask me why, but I got very, 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 very satisfied when I was able to build nukes and nuke other civilizations. So
I was gonna make a joke, but I was like, I'm not gonna make that joke.
So that was a lot of fun. So but I was only able to nuke one city of one civilization before my turn limit ran out and the game ended. So I was like, I don't want that to happen again. So I went back and I started from the information era, which is the last era you can get to, and then turned off the turn limit. So I basically just I'm gonna just, and I also may have downloaded a mod pack for it, which basically gives me like infinite gold, infinite moves. I can build infinite resources. And I was like,
time
cool.
to destroy everyone.
Yeah.
Sending nukes to every civilization in the world. I will be the only one left. Yep,
that's exactly what I did. I went through and I strategically nuked every other city on the map that wasn't owned by me. So I was like, in that game I started playing as Norway. Built four cities, and then I was like, okay, I'm gonna enable this mod. Give myself infinite gold. And I'm like, okay, buy a military engineer, move you to here, and build a missile silo. Because one of the mods on the mod pack that I downloaded was it basically gives you infinite nukes and infinite thermonuclear devices. So I was like, okay, build a missile silo here, nuke that city, move in my infantry, capture that city, build a military engineer in that city, build another missile silo so I can reach more destinations, nuke you, nuke you, nuke you, nuke you. It was a lot of fun. Killed
I can see you enjoyed just how many?
6 hours.
Oh, I thought you said killed like this many people. I was about to be like, wait, what? You know the number? I thought you said I killed like 600,000 people. I was like,
no.
Yeah, you say it so nonchalantly.
No, I killed like 6 hours doing that. I actually don't know how many people I killed. I would hate to look at that number because I'm pretty sure I nuked somewhere in the region of like 38 cities.
So more like in the millions of people?
Oh yeah. Yeah. There's like this is I feel like this is painting me out to be like a very aggressive person, but like,
dear Lord, yeah,
it's a video game.
It's a video game, yeah. You're clearly not like, the people that politicians make gamers out to be. Just like
no,
that is crazy though. Just like, I'm down with Civilization. I'll be the only one here.
Yeah,
I will be the start of Fallout.
Yeah,
you all bow down to me.
And the funny thing is like when you declare war on someone in Civilization, like they will like make an offer, or sorry, when you declare war or they declare war on you, they will like at some point make an offer to make peace. And every time I was like, no, I want to keep nuking you.
You said, screw your peace. I want to nuke you.
Yeah.
I want to raise your city to the ground. There will be nothing left standing.
Yeah, I haven't tested the new nuclear submarine I bought yet. I want to see how far the range on that is.
But please, we can help each other. Yes, you will help me by being my guinea pig. Yeah. See you later.
Hey, test this thermonuclear device I built.
See you never again. Have a great one.
Yep. So that is my time with Civilization 6. So far, I will continue playing that game because it's actually a lot of fun. I really enjoy it.
Yeah, well, you could be a psychopath, just nuke the world without consequence. Exactly. It's a blast.
People ask me how I deal with my real life rage. I just play Civilization 6
and nuke the world. There you go.
The last game I have played, and something that I was very excited when I got this email, is I've been playing the Overwatch 2 beta.
That makes one of us.
I got the email for it on Monday when the beta started saying, "Hey, you've got access." And I looked at it, I'm like, "Yes, I made it in." And then I was like, I looked at it, I'm like, "It's for Xbox." I really would have preferred it for PC, but like I'm not gonna say no. So
Did you
I
record anything?
no, I didn't, because I actually can't record from my Xbox anymore because my capture card does not go on this PC. So I have to sell the capture card I have and buy a different one.
Well, that's annoying.
Yeah, like it's annoying because this piece, the motherboard has the slot for. In fact, hang on. Is it right here? So my capture card, this is it, plugs into a PCIe by one slot, which is these like gold connectors here. The motherboard that I bought has one, but like it's underneath the graphics card. So like I physically, like I would have to cut a big chunk out of my graphics card to slot this in, and that ain't happening. So yeah, I will be. If anyone watching isn't, wants an HD 60 Pro, send us a message, I guess. But so yeah, I will be selling that capture card and buying probably just a regular HD 60. But yeah, so I will say
How is it? How is
that
it Overwatch 2?
I haven't played enough to have a fully formed opinion yet, because I've played, I think, like 4 or 5 games, because I haven't been too concerned about playing it because it goes until July 18th. So I still
Okay.
have plenty of time to play it, and there have been other things that I wanted to play this week and test out on PC and stuff. So this week I haven't been too concerned with playing it. What I will say is I am pretty sure Sojourn is my new main, because I really,
Okay.
really enjoy playing as her.
What is
Don't
she
get me wrong,
like?
she's really fun actually. So her
Is
gun
she
does a lot more.
damage?
Yeah, so she's damage. Her gun does a lot more damage than I thought it would.
Okay.
I can essentially melt other DPS, which I like.
Nice.
I mean, if you do it tactically, right, you can't, like, with a full clip of your gun, unless you're going for all headshots, you wouldn't be able to melt a DPS. But what you could do is you could get a DPS down to half health, and the more you hit an enemy with your regular gunfire, the more it charges your railgun. So once your
Okay.
railgun hits 100 and you've gotten that enemy down to half health, you can then hit them with a railgun and kill them.
The railgun is
So
is that her, like, was that one of her abilities? Is it her ultimate? I
it's
don't
no,
know.
it's like an alt fire for her gun. So
Okay. Got it.
RT is like machine gun, LT is railgun. But you can
Gotcha.
like your railgun does like an amount of damage that is appropriate to how much it is charged. And on your screen, and I'll have this gameplay when I can eventually record it. I'll probably just record a couple of clips and I'll maybe post them to Twitter or something. But essentially on the screen, you have like a charge indicator for your railgun. And like I say, the more you hit an enemy with your gun, the more your railgun is charged.
Okay.
One thing that I found works for me very well when I'm up against specifically an enemy diva is using my gun and my railgun to get her out of her mech, and then using my RB, which is like it's like an orb you fire out that when it hits like a wall or an enemy or something, it will like expand into an area that does damage.
Okay.
So specifically, when you're up against an enemy diva, kill her mech with your gun and your railgun, fire off that orb while she's getting out of her mech. She'll obviously jump out into the area, and then you can very easily kill Baby Diva.
Nice. That is a strategy right there. Thank you for
Yeah.
letting me know that. So now I know if I play as Diva to take out any Sojourners to be aware of that.
Yep. It's also really fun to use her, like she had your LB is like a slide, and then if you jump during that slide, then you jump super high.
Okay.
Which like is really handy to like either get you out of battle or get you into battle.
Nice.
Like if you're up against a diva who, like, yes, you can like not fairly easily take care of, but it's not exceptionally challenging. Like you can like take her on, but there is like a pretty solid chance she'll get the better of you. So you can just pull back on your thumbstick to move, press LB, and you will slide back real fast to like get out of danger.
Gotcha.
And
Have
then
you played as
alt,
oh, sorry, go ahead. Her alt. I forgot about that.
so I was just gonna say that her alt is basically I don't really understand it as of yet, but as far as I can tell, it's essentially your gun gets charged up and you can fire your rail gun multiple times.
Gotcha. Okay.
It's not like a machine rail gun where like you hold down the trigger, you have to like individually tap it, but you can fire multiple times.
Nice.
I'm not sure if it does anything else because I haven't paid super attention to it, but yeah, Sojourn, a lot of fun. I have not played as Junker Queen outside of like skirmish matches while I'm waiting for matches.
How does she feel in those, real quickly?
I mean, she feels fine. She's probably not my go-to tank, but she is. And again, I've only played as her twice, so I don't know if I should if I have like a fully formed opinion on her. But
just like your initial, like, what do you think? Just like from what you did.
Yeah, from what I have played so far, she is fun. I need to play more of her and before I have an opinion. At this point, I don't think she's going to replace D.Va as my main. But if D.Va gets picked, I will definitely either go with Orisa, who is my current backup tank, or Junker Queen. I am also now realizing that if D.Va gets picked, I won't be playing as tank because
I was about to ask. Yeah, I was about to ask. Like, wait, hold on. It's 5v5.
Yeah.
Didn't they take out the 2 tanks?
Yep. Yeah. So you have 1 tank, 2 DPS, and 2 healers. Again, I don't have much of an opinion on that because I've only played, like I say, maybe 4 or 5 matches. But from what I can tell so far, it still feels like Overwatch. It's still fun to play. It's still. It still has the thing that captures me about Overwatch 1, which I think is the most important thing. Mm-hmm. I'm not 100% sure how I feel about the 5v5. I think it is definitely different. I don't think it detracts from the game too much, but I do think it makes it more challenging.
A good way or a bad way?
I was going to say, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but coming from having several hundred hours in Overwatch 1, it's taking time for me to get used to, which might be the why it feels more challenging to me.
Right. Okay, interesting. Yeah, I figured that it would like be a big change, be a big difference for those who have dumped thousands and thousands of hours into the original Overwatch. You're used to certain team compositions and all. Now it's like, hey, we're removing a tank from the equation. Figure it out. It's just like, oh, whoa, okay. This changes how we approach team compositions. It changes how we approach doing different game modes, how we do pushes or holding, like doing the points and everything like that. Like, it changes things drastically. So I'm really curious to get my hands on it and see how it plays for me, because I typically play as a tank. I don't really do damage or support. Like, if I do support, I do Lucio. But I typically play as either D.Va or Orisa. I don't really do damage characters. So like I need to, like, I know it's been my weakness when it comes to Overwatch. So I've been trying to, whenever I play, like, expand into damage characters to get more of a feel for them. But like, even for me, I'm like, all right, well, if I don't get to do a tank, I got to figure out who else I'm going to play as now.
Yeah. One thing I will say that you might be interested in: Orisa, no longer a shield tank.
I heard, they got rid of they got rid of the shield that she could deploy, or it was just the armor that she could put up.
You can still armor. You can't put down a shield. Instead, you have when you press LB,
whichever the shield button was.
Yeah, I don't know, actually. I can't remember because I haven't played as Orisa more than 5 minutes in like a Mystery Heroes thing that I played. But essentially, her abilities now are: you still have your gun, which now has infinite ammo, but like recharges. So like you can fire for a certain amount of time, and then it'll like overheat, and you have to let it cool down. But instead of a shield, you have this like. Well, actually, before I say that, LT, you have like a spear you throw now. So you throw a spear at an enemy, and one of her new abilities is like you can like spin the spear really fast and move forward. And one, that does damage to enemies if you hit them with it, and 2, it repels bullets.
Okay, so it protects you, but doesn't.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I suppose if you were standing like in front of another teammate, then it would still help them as well. But
yeah,
Yeah. So I'm not sure how that is going to affect my choice in tank because, like I say, if I couldn't play as Diva, I would play as Orisa. So
Yeah.
I'll have to sit down and play as Orisa a lot more in Overwatch 2 than I have done, but there's plenty of time for that. It's on for another 16 days. So
yeah, it hurts my feelings knowing that she doesn't have the shield anymore. But
yeah, I know.
We'll make it work. We'll make it work
Yeah.
some way, shape, or form.
Oh,
It is
also,
what it is.
One last thing before I wrap up because we're running out of time on this call. Bastion is terrifying because in turret mode, he now can move.
So I've heard. Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong, I actually like the implementation because what they've done is they've taken. So before in Overwatch 1, you could just stay in turret mode permanently.
Yep.
You could spend the entire match in turret mode. They've made it a cooldown. So when you press whatever button it is to go into turret mode, you transform into your turret and start moving around, but you have a limited window to do that before you transform back into just regular Bastion. I actually like that. I think it's a good change, and it means that you have to be a lot more tactical when you transform into turret mode.
Yeah, you gotta be selective. You gotta really think about it, as opposed to just, all right, I'm gonna be the turret on the point as it moves. Stop me if you can, homeboy.
Yep. So yeah, I do like the change they've made to Bastion. I will say it's absolutely terrifying when he is coming straight towards you in turret mode.
Oh, I'm sure it is. Just like, oh dear God.
Yeah, especially when you're Sojourner and have 200 health and you're like, well, there's nothing I can do about this.
I'm in danger.
Yep. But that's all I've been playing. Again, next week I will have gameplay for both Minecraft RTX and Overwatch 2. And yeah,
nice. That's it.
Yep, that's it. That does it for episode 65 of the Play to Win podcast. Thank you all very much for watching. Just as a reminder, check out our website, playtowingames.wordpress.com, where you'll get, written parts of the stuff that we post. Find all our written reviews, our review guide, or about us, all that kind of jazz is on there. You can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at PlayToWinGame, where you will get updates on the show. Again, I might post a couple highlights I make in Overwatch 2 on the PlayToWin Twitter. Check out. Subscribe on YouTube and podcast services. It helps us out a bunch. It helps us out, with algorithms and our view, where our podcast ranks in search and stuff. So really helps us out a bunch. Hit the notification bell so you know when new videos go live on YouTube. Comment, share, review, like, all that jazz. Again, helps us out with algorithms and makes us feel better about what we do, and we very much appreciate it.
Yep. Also, subscribe on podcast services. I don't know if you said that one. You said YouTube. I don't know if you said the third podcast. Did you? You might have.
I might. I can't remember. If not, 2 reminders. Go do it.
Exactly. And the 5-star review on podcast services.
Yes, that I didn't mention.
Yes.
Tyler, where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Tyler Miller 2496, where I tweet mainly about games and all, but also different anime and other things I'm watching. After I finish Stranger Things today, ideally, I will be tweeting about that. I've refrained from tweeting about it because of Twitter algorithms. Tweet about something once, you get bombarded with it right immediately after. As soon as I'm done watching Stranger Things season 4, I will tweet about it. I will tweet basically saying my general thoughts. No spoilers. I'm not a spoiler person. So I'm looking forward to watching that. And talk to me about that and other gaming stuff. Let us know who you want to have cover Sly Cooper or Infamous once, if that ever happens. Let us know your dream for those games down in the comment section.
Yeah. You can find me on Twitter at Badlynet, BADLYNET, all one word, where I post random stuff sometimes, not very often, but hey ho. Thank you all very much for watching, and we will see you all next week.
Have a great one.
Bye.